I gotta ask you a question. The hat, it's one thing to wear the hat backwards. Do you have an afro under that or something? It looks very, very high.
I'll tell you what. Hey, that's none of your damn business, okay?
Whatever's happening underneath my hat is not up for discussion, and honestly, it never will be. The only detail that matters is simple. I don't have whatever strange situation you've got going on up top. That's right, I said it. Unlike you, I actually keep things fresh. And when it comes to firing back without hesitation, Kevin Hart has made a career out of saying exactly what everyone else is thinking, but doesn't dare to say out loud. Whether he's going after Hollywood icons or taking shots at professional athletes, nothing is off limits, and that's exactly what makes his humour hit so hard. Sports debates can get intense, especially when basketball fans start arguing over the smallest details, but every once in a while something cuts through all that seriousness. Take Kawhi Leonard, for example. Nobody really expects him to be unintentionally funny, but somehow his personality, or lack of one depending on how you see it, creates moments that people can't stop laughing about. And when Kevin Hart reacts to something like that, you already know it's going to escalate. Kawhi's quiet, awkward delivery becomes the perfect setup, and Kevin jumps on it immediately, breaking down the laugh itself like it's some kind of rare phenomenon. It's not even a normal laugh. It's more like a sudden burst, something that catches you off guard. And Kevin takes that and runs with it, turning it into a full-blown scenario about what would happen if someone laughed like that at one of his shows. That's the thing about Kevin. He doesn't just tell jokes, he builds entire moments around them. He'll take something small and stretch it until it becomes absurd. Like when he starts joking about Dwayne Johnson, better known as Dwayne Johnson. Their friendship is built on constant roasting, and Kevin never misses an opportunity to throw in a ridiculous jab. Whether it's making up outrageous details or exaggerating something minor, he commits to the bit fully, and that's what makes it land. And then there are situations that are already chaotic on their own, like the very public split between Kim Kardashian and Kanye West. Most people would tread lightly around something like that, but Kevin goes straight into it. He takes the already bizarre story of Kanye staying in a stadium and turns it into a whole narrative, imagining what it must be like to literally live under the same roof as a major event. The idea of finishing your day and just casually heading downstairs to go to bed in a stadium becomes hilarious when Kevin paints the picture. He doesn't just repeat the story, he reshapes it into something even more ridiculous. Another thing Kevin does exceptionally well is reacting in real time. When he's sitting next to someone like Sofia Vergara, sometimes he doesn't even need to say much. A look, a pause, or a subtle expression can completely change the tone of the moment. And when she's explaining something serious, Kevin finds a way to sneak in a joke that doesn't completely derail the conversation, but still gets a laugh. Of course, not every joke lands perfectly with everyone. When Kevin brought Tom Brady into the mix during a roast, he crossed into territory that hit a little closer to home. Jokes about personal life can sometimes go further than expected, and while the audience might laugh, the person on the receiving end might not feel the same way. Brady made it clear afterward that some jokes, especially the ones involving family, didn't sit well with him. It's one of those moments that shows the fine line comedians walk. What's hilarious to one person might be uncomfortable for another. Still, Kevin doesn't hold back when it comes to pointing out the obvious, especially when it comes to age. If someone mentions they're in their mid-50s, Kevin reacts instantly, and not always in the most subtle way. Sometimes it slips out before he can even think about it, and then he has to backtrack trying to explain that it didn't come out the way he intended. But by then, the damage is already done. And the moment becomes funnier because of how he tries to recover from it. At the same time, he's not above being the target either. When he tries to position himself as the younger guy in a conversation, someone like Mark Wahlberg is quick to remind him that he's not exactly the youngest in the room. That back and forth energy is what keeps the jokes balanced. Kevin dishes it out, but he can take it too. Then there are those moments where he comments on appearances, like when Kanye shows up somewhere dressed in a way that immediately grabs attention. Kevin doesn't just point it out. He turns it into a full comedic breakdown, comparing it to something completely unexpected and painting a picture that sticks in your head. His ongoing roast battle with Dwayne Johnson is probably one of the best examples of how far he's willing to go. When Kevin saw an old photo of him, he didn't hold back at all. Instead of just teasing him, he turned it into a full character analysis, comparing him to someone you'd never expect. And even when The Rock tries to flip things around and joke about Kevin's height, Kevin immediately spins it into an advantage, arguing that being tall isn't even that great to begin with. He turns what could be a weakness into a punchline that works in his favour. Kevin's humour also thrives in roast settings, especially when he's alongside someone like Snoop Dogg. Those environments are built for sharp, fast-paced jokes, and Kevin knows exactly how to keep up. Even when someone else starts strong, he finds a way to come back with something even sharper, proving that quick thinking is one of his biggest strengths. But not every situation is a win. When Kevin tried to joke around with Michael Jordan during a live event, he quickly realised that some people just aren't there for the jokes. What started as playful teasing turned into an uncomfortable moment when the crowd didn't react and Jordan's expression made it clear he wasn't amused. It's a rare instance where Kevin had to recognise that maybe, just maybe, he had picked the wrong target. And then there's his experience with James Harden. What started as courtside trash talk turned into something much bigger when Harden actually responded. Not just with words, but with his performance on the court. Kevin kept talking, thinking it was all part of the fun, but Harden took it personally and ended up dominating the game. By the end of it, Kevin had to sit there and accept that his jokes might have fueled the very thing he was trying to laugh at. Even in debates, Kevin finds a way to stand out. When he goes back and forth with Stephen A. Smith, it's not just about making a point, it's about making it in the most entertaining way possible. Instead of sticking to the topic, Kevin shifts the focus, pointing out something completely unrelated but hilarious, throwing Stephen A. off balance and taking control of the moment. At the end of the day, Kevin Hart's entire approach to comedy is built on fearlessness. He doesn't hesitate, he doesn't overthink, and he doesn't shy away from awkward situations. Whether he's impersonating voices, reenacting scenarios, or just reacting in the moment, he knows how to turn everyday interactions into something memorable. That's what separates him. Not just the jokes themselves, but the way he delivers them, the timing and the confidence to say what others won't.